Hello, good evening, and welcome. I'm John Lazarus with Stories Matter and D&E Publishing. This is hard for me to say, fans of Stories Matter, but I'm dying of cancer. This may be the last video I ever publish. Okay, not really. But that got your attention, didn't it? Made you want to keep watching. Fiction, at its most fundamental nature, is all about lying. It's about tricks and deceit and pulling the wool from behind your reader's eyes. As a fiction writer, you use big words to lie and make yourself appear smart and distract others from the fact that, if the apocalypse were to come, your uselessness to mankind would make you one of the first left behind to die. The hook is the cornerstone to this deception. It's the flashing titty, the taste of that first sip of absinthe, the smell of that newly lit rock smoldering in the crack pipe. It's there to blind the reader from the crooked teeth, the blinding hangover, the achy withdrawal, and the kiss of concrete in the back alley. In today's video, we'll see how we can effectively snatch our reader's attention right off the bat. We'll manipulate in a way that would get us fired from almost any other job on this edition of Stories Matter. Speaking of hooks, today's video is brought to you by Arrows.com. Are you an aspiring writer looking to blow off a bit of steam brought on by a nasty bout of writer's block? Or maybe you're doing some research for a novel and need some good stories of human desperation. Well, Arrows.com might be right for both of you. On Arrows.com, you can customize your searches to find someone willing to fill the hole inside you that work, family, and God couldn't. Please note, Arrows.com should only be used for platonic friendships. The Stories Matter and D&E Publishing family do not condone sex work or violating local pimping laws. And John Lazarus cannot vouch for the safety or validity of the website, as he has not personally used Arrows.com because he can get his own, thank you very much. And before we start, let's look at some examples of great opening hooks from classic works of fiction. I Am an Invisible Man, from Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. This is a great opening hook for people who don't read the titles of the books they're reading. River run past Eve and Adams, from serve of shore to bend of bay, brings us by a commodious vicus of recirculation back to Howth Castle and environs. From Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce. As true today as it was whenever it was written. You want to be there. You know you do. Don't lie, darling. I know what you think when you look up at that splendorous place atop the mountain. I know what fills you, spurs you on, fuels your dreams. You're obsessed with being chosen. Everyone is. From Model Land by Tyra Banks. There's so much confidence in the prose here, such command of the language. You can tell Tyra's going to hit you with some truths other models/talk show hosts wouldn't dream of. So, how can we be as effective as the writers here? Step 1. Start in the middle of the action. This is sometimes referred to as in media res, which is Latin for things called media, they go to the middle. Starting this way confuses your reader, which is good because most people read books to appear smart. So this forces your reader to keep reading to find clarity so they feel like less of a dumbass. Using tricks to prey on the insecurities of your reader is what writing's all about. Step 2. Imply intriguing contexts. It's not just about confusing your reader. And it's not just about shocking your reader with mutilations and expletives and left-wing ideas like murdering anyone who says Merry Christmas instead of Happy Holidays. A context could be an era, place, or scenario. You could allude to an ongoing conflict or bring up an interesting fact about a place or an era of history. Here's how I started Doe's Boys, my World War II drama set in the North African theater. By the end of 1944, half the men in L Division would never return home. Most of those who did came back missing a body part or two. But everyone who came back whole had one pastry chef to thank. Step 3. Set the voice and tone. We often think of hooks as being plot dependent, but voice and tone matter just as much. If they're anything like me, the average reader is going to spend the next month or so listening to this person. So they want it to be someone unlike their family or coworkers or therapist, somebody worth listening to. From the opening lines of Kerouac's On the Road, you can tell Sal Paradise is a free spirit, not someone brought down by the old ball and chain. You could try being funny, but I'd recommend something sad and desperate. If YouTube analytics are to be trusted, that will come off much more naturally to you. Step 4. Invite controversy. Rudyard Kipling once began a story this way. A man should, whatever happens, keep to his own caste, race, and breed. Let the white go to the white and the black to the black. Then, whatever trouble falls is in the ordinary course of things, neither sudden, alien, nor unexpected. Now, am I suggesting to start your story advocating racial segregation? Kinda. I mean, Kipling's famous and you aren't, so you must be onto something. But if blatant racism, sexism, homophobia, and zoophilia make you uncomfortable, just choose a statement that shows a strong but understandable conviction. My 2020 crime epic, A Handful of Napalm, starts like this. The one thing nobody ever tells you about crack? It never stops being awesome. Step 5. Tug the heartstrings. This seems counterintuitive, as your reader doesn't even know the character yet, so why would they feel an emotional connection? Sort of like how you ignore news stories about thousands dying in floods and earthquakes, or force yourself not to learn coworkers' names so they won't get attached and ask you to give money to their GoFundMe when they get bone marrow cancer. There are, however, certain universal emotional triggers that even people who walk past choking homeless people without a second thought can't ignore. A crying baby. A barren woman. A barren woman's dog about to be put down for biting a crying baby. Here's a great example of how to do this. I was insane the way an animal is insane, because I'd lost everything. That's from William Shatner's biography, and it gets right to the heart of his pain and struggle. Well, that's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll leave you with this week's Author Quote of the Week. See you on the next one.